Hey everybody, my name is Graham Elwood. You are watching The Political Vigilante, a show where we have no problem saying Pete Buttigieg is a Republican. He's Republican to his core. We find out, we knew he worked at this consulting firm, McKinsey. Well, they worked to privatize, that's Republican talk, the Postal Service. They got rid of union jobs. I'm going to go all into it, man. Pete Buttigieg is just a Republican front to back. This is how the identity politics works. We're all supposed to think, oh, he's some lefty because he's gay. Okay, so he's in favor of gay marriage. Great. I'm glad Obama passed that. He's going to protect LGBTQ. But this is just the identity politics of the Democratic Party. The conservatives, they use the Republican Party uses the Bible and the Second Amendment, family values to get conservative voters to vote against their own interests. And man, they use identity politics to get the left. This is a Republican. When I was a kid in the 80s, when Reagan was in the White, this is Republican stuff. Buttigieg's campaign and Sissy had nothing to do with the McKinsey reports. First, let's go to the Buttigieg campaign released this. I know it's small print, you can barely see it. These are the companies that worked with McKinsey when Buttigieg was there from 2007 to 2010. Blue Cross, Blue Shield of Michigan, Loblaws of the Toronto area, Best Buy. He served as a division of Best Buy project to investigate opportunities for selling more efficiency. Okay, great. For Blue Cross, he worked on a project for a non-for-profit health insurance provider for approximately 3 months. See there again, oh, non-for-profit. Pete's one of us, right? He was assigned a team that looked at overhead expenditures such as rent, utilities, and company travel. The project he was assigned to did not involve policies, premiums, or benefits. See, they're trying to distance him from what McKinsey did. See that? That's when you know it's BS. That's when you know it's complete bullshit. So that means, oh, he didn't know. It's like Prince Andrew. I mean, Ghislaine Maxwell brought Epstein as a +1. I didn't know him. That's Trump saying, I didn't know Prince Andrew. Oh, you shook his hand at the Buckingham Palace during an all-day event back in June. Wow. Yeah, I worked at McKinsey, but I did good grassroots. See how they word this? This sounds all grassrootsy. Roll up his sleeves. Mayor Pete fighting for us. Oh, we work for the National Resource Defense Council. That's good. Sure. The Energy Foundation. Oh, a non-for-profit group, and the Postal Service. Oh, okay, cool. First of all, let's just get into a couple more details about what McKinsey did with Blue Cross. The year Buttigieg worked for Blue Cross Blue Shield, the insurance group faced a major public outcry over its proposals to dramatically increase insurance premiums and severely limit coverage for people with pre-existing conditions. Weird that then Mayor Pete's Medicare for All, he's really vague on it, and it doesn't sound comprehensive, and he definitely wants to have, private insurance to have a foothold in there. That's weird. He works for a consulting firm that helps Blue Cross and Blue Shield, who spends a lot of money to try to crush Bernie's Medicare for All plan back in 2007. Weird. Blue Cross is also one of the companies to make sure that the Affordable Care Act, or Obamacare, didn't have a public option. They made sure that we got Romney Care, a Republican health care plan, just like our Republican buddy, Mayor Pete. But on MSNBC, he says he doubts his cost management work for Blue Cross during his time at McKinsey and Company contributed to any major company layoffs. The layoffs happened. They happened while he was there. So let's just say for a second the Buttigieg campaign is telling the truth. He didn't really know. He wasn't that involved. That's who you want as president? That's like when Joe Biden distanced himself from Obama when Obama did something bad, but then tries to take credit for it when Obama did something good. This is this corporate politician double-talking nonsense. This is double-talking nonsense. This is the leader in like the biggest time of crisis we face. We're facing climate collapse. We have 30 million people living in poverty. We have the number one cause of bankruptcy is medical bills. 30,000 people a year die because they don't have health insurance. And this is just corporate double talk, doubts. But you were there and you knew what was going on. So I doubt, Pete, you were working with any sort of integrity. Warren, thank God Kamala's out, Biden, they have no integrity. They're just weasels that try to get to wherever the money is and the power. Now he wants to be president because the CIA pushed him to do it because he was a naval intelligence officer. And now here he is. I got doubts. Let's see what somebody who worked in the insurance industry says about Pete's doubts. As I know firsthand, when health insurers bring in consultants for things like assessments and cost cutting, those are code words for laying off workers, denying customers medical coverage, and raising their rates. Yeah, Mayor Pete, I have doubts about anything you say is believable. One reporter, former health insurance executive. Pete was part of the team tasked with generating ideas to increase revenue like selling greeting cards. This is with the post office. And increasing the use of flat rate boxes and exploring new products to get more people to use Postal Service and help make it profitable, Pete Buttigieg says. Oh. No, he didn't. He helped the post office cut costs, cut money, pushing to privatize. They've been trying to push to privatize this, getting rid of union jobs. Who said this? Who verifies this? President of the American Postal Workers Union. Any objective observer would have to say McKinsey had a real negative impact. McKinsey did not help the Postal Service. The Postal Service implemented a number of recommendations from the 2010 report, the McKinsey report, decisions that are now widely regarded as failures. So McKinsey's plans were failures. Pete Buttigieg worked on a report that was a failure. Right? Republicans have been trying to privatize the post office since I was a child. One of the things they did is they had to pre-fund pensions. The post office is at the whim of Congress, so they made them have to pre-fund pensions, which means they had to go into all this debt. That's why the post office is in debt. People don't talk about it. They say, oh, it's not run right. No, they forced them to pre-fund. Normally, like you work for the post office, let's say for 30 years, they fund your pension, what a regular company would fund your pension by taking money out of your paycheck every week or a month. So what Congress made them do, like you start to work today, you know, as a 25-year-old or whatever working for the post office, and when you turn 65, so when you start day one of being a post office employee, we have to put all of the money in advance. That's why they're billions of dollars in debt. And McKinsey didn't come up with like solutions. The post office should be, it doesn't get any federal tax money. It is governed by the federal government, but it doesn't get tax money. So it has to be self-supporting. And then they burden them with pre-funding pensions. But this is the 2010 report from McKinsey that Buttigieg was a part of. 141 processing plants were closed. So we know what Mayor Pete would do if he's president. Your federal job is going to get cut, baby. That's what Pete's going to do. Make sure his buddy's in the 1%. He gets corporate money. He's flat out said, I'm not going to, I'm going to keep taking corporate money. He says, we need money out of politics. He says progressive buzzwords. He calls himself progressive. That's why I'd say the term progressive has been co-opted since 2016. But this is what he's done. A 2018 audit from the Postal Service regulatory body found the decision only reaped 5% of the savings the private consultants projected it would. They projected all these big savings. So they cut and closed plants and put people out of work, and they only got 5% of the savings, so it didn't even work. Anytime I hear privatization, we need to privatize something, you know you're going to get screwed. It's so companies like McKinsey and a private company can come in and stick it to you and get rid of union employees. Another McKinsey's proposal to cut costs by establishing public-private partnerships replaced unionized Postal Service workers with staff at retail stores like Staples. You have a post office closed near you? Put workers out of postal workers, put union workers on the street. That's what it did. Good union paying jobs. Politicians like Sanders and Elizabeth Warren have been strong supporters of expanding postal services far past greeting cards into financial services like banking. They already do money orders. What if the post office was also part of public banks? Oh, a former intelligence officer that worked for a big consulting firm can't have that. Hedge fund and consulting firm guy can't have that. Sure, people aren't sending, snail mail as much anymore. The priority mail thing, I know why it was really good. I ran a shipping company with comedy film nerds. We shipped products off of our website, comedians, CDs and DVDs and books and stuff like that. And the priority mail thing was great, but they kept changing it and kept changing. We're like, God, it's so frustrating. Well, now we know it was Mayor Pete's company screwing us over. Sure, people are still going to need to ship stuff. But the post office could do so many other things and give more union jobs. They don't want to do that. So this is it, man. Pete is a flat-out Republican. You don't believe me? Guess what else McKinsey did? Immigrant rights groups demand Buttigieg return donations from firm linked to ICE. The letter comes after a report detailed McKinsey recommendations to immigration and customs enforcement, including cutting medical food costs. And who did they donated to his campaign? I always tell you, follow the money. Pete Buttigieg is a Republican. Pete Buttigieg's time at McKinsey shows you he is a Republican. Cutting jobs, but this is the Democratic Party. The Republican Party's gone so far to the right, the Democrats have followed him. That's why Liz Warren was a Republican. She stayed, I said this on the Jimmy Dore show, she stayed right here to the right, okay? The Republican Party has moved more so far to the right, and the Democratic Party's fired him. Now she's a Democrat. These people were all called Republicans in the 80s. These were all called Republicans in the 80s. And then the good old Clintons came along, and they went a millimeter to the left of the Republican Party, and now this is what's called the crazy liberal. Privatization, getting rid of union jobs. Ugh, horrible. And now getting donations. He wants to profit off of ICE. This is Mayor Pete, and he's going to have the audacity to go on these debate stages and talk about how, Mr. Trump, how dare you. I'm so sick of these Democrats doing these. They're just as bad. Mayor Pete, if he's president, his tweets will be polite. He won't say dumb, offensive things on his Twitter feed like Trump does. But he'll be doing this. Bye-bye, federal employee jobs. Hello, ICE. Thanks for watching the show. MSNBC's not going to talk about Mayor Pete this way. They're not going to talk about all of his awful stuff. He lies about, he made up that he has all these, black supporters when he doesn't. He's so full of it, man. You just follow the money is All you got to do. Bernie Sanders doesn't take corporate money. Tulsi Gabbard doesn't take corporate money. Liz Warren says she won't, but then she does, and then she will, and she won't, and then she will, and she won't, and she does, and then she doesn't. Follow the money. The money will tell you everything. Every time, every day, follow the money. That's all you got to do. It's that simple. It's that simple. Who funds somebody? That'll tell you where their allegiances lie. It's that simple. So you know where my allegiances are? You know what my hidden agenda is? Is I'm in the pocket of big Patreon. You folks support me at patreon.com/Graham Elwood. I'm beholden to you to give you the truth. And even some of you have submitted me articles through Patreon and I don't agree with it. I don't do it. I tell you the truth, man, as I see it. If I get it wrong, I'll admit it. And if you don't agree with me, that's fine. But no, this is my opinion. McKinsey isn't in my ear telling me what I can and cannot say. We don't need centrism, man. Nowhere throughout history has centrism done a damn thing. So thanks for watching the show. Like, share, subscribe. Watch the ads all the way through. When you click skip ad, I don't get paid. Push these videos out on your social media. Follow me at Graham Elwood. That's my Twitter and Instagram. And go to grahamelwood.com for all my tour dates. You can support me on PayPal there. I have a P.O. box. There's a million great ways to support the show. Yeah, I have a P.O. box. It's at a post office. Yeah, because I support the post office, unlike Pete Buttigieg. Shave your knuckles for justice.